Texans lose last week to the Los Angeles Chargers. But as you like to do, once the dust has settled, you know, because we've got our hot takes right afterwards in the post-game show, and then you and I have hot takes the next day. But you know, sometimes the dust settles, you rewatch it, and we see some other things.
Right. Yeah. So, and we'll stick to the offensive side of the ball today, and then maybe if there's unless something big happens, we'll do some of the defense tomorrow. But I think that the first stringers obviously were out there for the first drive, and it works out perfectly by preseason standards because, you know, you want to get a series of work as long as it's a good series. The most annoying thing is when you go 3 and out and then have to go out again and then go 3 and out, and you're like, all right, we're getting into the second quarter here with our starters. First of all, to lay it out, Aaron Wilson asked Cole Popovich about, was it good to see the starting offensive line out there? And Cole Popovich said, hey, pump the brakes on that.
Your overall take on the work of the guys, which was first team against the guys the other night, the first team?
Yeah, it was good to get all those guys out there together and repping. I don't know if that's like necessarily like the first team. You know, it was the team that we put out there first within that preseason game. Thought they did a nice job communicating. They threw a lot of pressures at us. You know, if you watch that game back, it seemed like they were damn near 70% pressure, and so that was great for us just to see all that throughout the whole game. And I thought everybody really handled it really well.
Yeah, it did annoy me that the Chargers were blitzing as much as they were. I don't mind it when the starters do it because, okay, hey, you've got veterans out there. You should be able to handle this, even though it was a veteran offensive line. Marlon Klein's out there as a rookie. Noah Whittington's out there as a rookie, first time in an NFL field. And you like to see guys just win their physical battles. And the Chargers are blitzing all over the place. Yeah.
Damn Harbaugh.
Well, the new offensive coordinator, or new defensive coordinator, who's been there before, you know, they're running a lot of what the Chargers did already. I'm wondering if on that first end around the Texans ran on the first play of scrimmage, if he was like,
this is how we're going to do it?
All
that's
right,
funny.
Here we go. Yeah.
Chris O'Leary is
Chris
his
O'Leary,
name.
that's right.
Yeah.
But by and large, the starters did well. And the thing that I was pleased about was when I went back, even some of the plays where you might wonder, oh boy, what the offensive line do there. The bootleg where Mills threw to Marlon Klein and it ended up being defensive pass interference. Remember, there was pressure in his face immediately. Yeah. And people's knee-jerk reaction is to think the offensive line must have screwed up there. That wasn't Braden Smith's fault at all on that play. If anything, it was a really, really bad play fake. And I don't know if it was Whittington or Davis Mills' fault or the play design, but it was a horrible play fake. So the defensive end just didn't bite on it.
Yeah, they weren't buying it at all.
It didn't slow him down at all. So he was in Davis Mills' face immediately.
Yep.
People had pointed out that was it Xavier Hutchinson was wide open on that.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell Mills would have known it. Like, Mills did the right thing on that. He ended up taking if there hadn't been pass interference, it might have been a touchdown.
Right.
So it was a pretty damn nice throw by Mills with somebody in his face immediately. And B, he had zero time to get back off his primary read.
I'm glad you said that because I thought, I was sitting next to you in the press box. On that play, I'm like, man, Hutchinson is. You watch the play develop, you're like, he's right there, and he throws it to Klein. It all worked out.
Yeah, you think on a bootleg, the quarterback turns around and this defensive end is in his face immediately. Yeah. There was no time to scan through his progression.
What else you got?
I did think that they handled the blitz reasonably well. They had one little glitch on one of them, but for kind of getting ambushed by a bunch of blitzes in the first half, when a lot of the guys who might be starters are out there, I thought they did an okay job on the offensive line. I think some of the ones were like, okay, Lewis Bond didn't pick up that blitzing defensive back well enough, and that led to a sack on one play. Marlon Klein has a lot of promise as a blocker. There were a couple moments where there was one he was in a bad situation because of him and Ursary not being on the same page. I don't know whose fault it was, his or Ursary, but he made the best of it. Like, a defensive end kind of had him locked out, and Klein just kept driving and pushing and created a crease for the running back. So I'm really encouraged by him because it's not just obviously the pass catching with him. It's going to have to be the blocking side of things.
You can see what they saw in him.
Yeah. I think, and it's only going to get better. I think he's got a lot of potential, man.
Yeah.
Of the running backs, I think I don't think it's a surprise to anybody that after I rewatched, I think that Whittington is the leader in the clubhouse there with the young running backs.
Did you see Pitzenberger went on IR this weekend?
Yeah,
the kid from Yale. So yeah, he's done.
And Owen Wright. I mean, Owen Wright had been on the team for like 3 days.
Yeah,
I actually thought he did a pretty good job in blitz pickup from a mental standpoint, but he also just got walked back. He had the right assignment. He got walked back. I'm going to give him a bunch of breaks because he's just a young guy on a new team. I think just him stepping up to the mental side of it was impressive to me.
That might be the thing I'm most excited for on Thursday night is getting our first look at David Montgomery.
Yeah.
In a Texans uniform.
So those are some of the good things.
Yep.
And when they got into the second offensive line, it was Sam Hagan at right tackle, then Weewoo, and then Evan Brown at center, Jarrett Patterson at left guard, and Fisher at left tackle.
Okay.
I'm having a really hard time with Braden Smith and Blake Fisher. I keep saying Braden Fisher.
You've combined them a few times.
A bunch of times.
Yeah. That's okay.
I don't know when that's going to end. So I'm going to say their complete names. Thank you. I think that Evan Brown. I think if I liked what Evan Brown did at center more than I liked what he did at guard.
Hey, by the way, you know why you're probably doing that too? Because there's an Aiden Fisher on the team.
Oh yeah,
on the Texans.
Yeah. The Kamari
rhymes.
The Kamari Ramsey thing is messing me up too because there's so many damn Jalen's and Jadens on this team.
That's all
and
you needed.
Jalen Ramsey is a very famous cornerback.
You needed another Kamari on the team, like you needed a hole in the head.
This is Nick trying to mess with me.
Sorry, Evan Brown. You were talking about.
Yeah, so Evan Brown came in at center after Rutledge was out. And then he went to guard later on. And I just, in a very small sample size, I liked it. Evan Brown just looks more natural as a center. And just, I think in general, but then also just based on this game. And I think he's ahead of Jake Andrews right now in terms of who the starting center might be if Rutledge goes.
Isn't that wild that the incumbent center from last year might not make the team this year?
Yeah.
I mean, Jake Andrews is in some serious danger.
It's not that wild if you think about the performance of the offensive line.
I'm just saying I'm just saying like in general, like on an NFL team that was 12-5 last year.
Yeah.
That the guy who started pretty much every game at center is just not going to make the team the next year. You know why it's not
wild to me? Because the wilder thing is that they had an ongoing competition between two guys at left guard last year.
That's true.
And neither of them ended up being relevant.
Fair point. The wild thing might be that Jake Andrews was a starting center in the NFL in the first place.
Yeah, that doesn't feel as wild to me.
Yeah.
So there was one play I sent you where I think Blake Fisher's done a lot of good things. There was one play where he got knocked back a little bit.
Tumbled ass over tea kettle, man.
On a split zone play.
Yeah.
And he took out a tight end. I think it was Foster Moreau, who's coming across the formation. Well, actually, I think Fisher got the worst of it. Fisher kind of windmill.
Fisher took a bump.
He kind of did a turnstile windmill, like it was like he got a hard moving screen.
Oh no, like he sold it. If it was WWE, like man, look at him sell.
Yeah. So this is my overall. The second team came in, and I was like, all right, these guys are doing something nice. They're moving down the field. We had a successful screen.
Yeah,
something we haven't seen a whole lot of in the last couple years.
Right.
But then they got down to the red zone. And that's where just this feels like last year. They were moving the ball pretty well through the middle of the field. They got into the red zone, and it wasn't awful, but it certainly wasn't great until a failed QB sneak is just you can't have this. You can't have a failed QB sneak.
Yes, you cannot.
It's one of the most successful plays in the history of football is the QB sneak. Yeah. I put part of it on Mertz a little bit, R.I.P. Mertz, but I think a more veteran quarterback could have found the soft spot in where it was. I thought the O-line, by and large, the second stringers, got pretty good movement on a lot of the double teams. I thought Weewoo did some good things. Sam Hagan, I thought, did some good things, and he's the guy from the Great Plains, the South Dakota State.
Yeah.
So he got a lot of reps at both right tackle and left tackle in that game, and he's very much a rookie and a work in progress, but I think they see something in him.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, so tomorrow is the defensive rewatch.
We'll go to the defense, yeah.
Okay, good.
I got to spend more time with the linebackers. I spent 4 hours yesterday going back and forth with Drew Hodgen and Sage Rosenfels on that one failed bootleg that we were talking about.
Yep.
Oh, there was also one thing that I liked about Whittington. There was when they were down in the red zone, he had that one run to the left that went for like 3 yards. I credit him for turning it into 3 yards. But there was another one where initially I thought, what the hell, offensive line, get this right. That actually, that play was actually pretty well blocked, but the young defensive end didn't play the boot at all and just came screaming down. And where Whittington could have made the extreme cutback across the grain if the defensive end had played the bootleg, honestly, they didn't hold him there. But then the Texans, credit to Nick Caley, seeing that's the way the defensive end was playing the boot, they ran a successful boot action a few plays later on, and the defensive end got sucked inside.
Yeah.
The play didn't go anywhere. That was the play where Mills ended up running out of bounds.
Yep.
But like, it was good from a play calling perspective that, all right, they set this up
Setting
and
some stuff up,
they knew they had it
Yeah.
because they saw the way the defensive end was playing the boot.